to lovely YouTube. You're bearing with me while I'm trying to do these reaction videos. You know, I'm new to it. I've got no idea what I'm doing. Now, this little royal row, there's always a royal row. Have you noticed? Every day we get a new royal row. And I love listening to the royal rogues, and he calls himself the royal rogues. I think he's Spanish. And I also love listening to Murad Morali, and he talks about the royals every day. And they're just so lovely and biased. It's brilliant. So let's just try and have a little look at what's going on here, shall we? And see what we think about it. This lady here, Angela, she is pro-royals. She's pro the king. She's pro-Catherine, I'm guessing. She's probably pro-William.
Is that offending people?
I think there's two sorts of women who are very strong, and some of them are delightful and absolutely amazing, and some of them are really spiteful and not so much.
You see, the way these two think, here's Angela saying there's two types of strong women, which is a nonsense in itself, isn't it? Of course it is. Most women are strong, right? Show me a weak woman. Go on, go and find one. What does weak mean? What does strong mean? What is strong? And she's managing to put them into two categories of wanted behaviour and unwanted behaviour, desirable and not so desirable. Okay.
And there's a whole range of people in between. So I think it's
Okay, in fairness, there's a whole range of people in between.
Not all women are scared of women who are powerful. Not at all. The problem with Meghan is that...
Problem with Meghan. And she starts there. The problem with Meghan and how she is. The problem with Meghan. It's the problem, how she sees the problem. And then she says everything has to be done immediately. But that can't be true, can it?
She doesn't wait till things sort of materialise. Everything's got done immediately. And if not, she drops the people and moves on and does something else.
She drops the people, moves on, does something else. Has she got any evidence for that?
We've seen that with one of her husbands. We've seen that.
Have we seen that with one of her husbands? We've got no idea what happened in that marriage.
With all sorts of things with the royal family.
With the royal family. So what? Meghan got bored, dropped them, moved on. Is that what she's saying?
And I think that people find that rather unpleasant.
Unpleasant.
But Melissa McCarthy, I mean, I think she's slightly frightened of Meghan, even though she's pretending that she's not.
Melissa McCarthy, frightened of Meghan. Yeah, unlikely. Come on. That's a stretch, isn't it? To think that Melissa McCarthy's frightened of Meghan. Why on earth would she be scared of Meghan Markle? Is Melissa McCarthy scared of Meghan Markle? I've heard it all now. That's really funny. Oh my goodness. I hope Melissa McCarthy gets to hear this little interview that involves her. Somehow she's got reeled into this row. And all Melissa McCarthy's done probably is help Meghan get some jam together.
Because when Meghan had her 40th birthday, she invited her along. They were chatting very nicely, having cups of tea. And there was poor Harry outside the window, not allowed in, playing with balls. And it looked very much a sort of Charles Dickens associated thing, where you'd look through the window and you want a sort of piece of cake. And Meghan thought it was hilarious and she began laughing. And then Melissa started laughing.
So Angela's criticising Meghan for laughing at Harry because Angela's looking at Harry as if he's poor Harry. Look, he's being treated really badly. She could be right, but she's making a lot of assumptions there. And she thinks that Melissa McCarthy is going to laugh alongside Meghan rather than say, shouldn't we open the door and let him in? Shouldn't we let him in? And she's got no idea what the joke was or what they were laughing about. They may not have been laughing because Harry was poor Harry and he was having an awful time compared to them.
Nothing wrong with that, but you just felt that it was just a really rather strange thing to find funny. But everybody has their own view of who they like, and Meghan does have a way of making some people think she's enormously wonderful and other people not liking her at all.
And there we go again, back to the two ways of thinking. So Angela seems to think that Meghan is capable of getting people really on her side to really love her, and she's also capable of causing this divisive extreme where people are really going to dislike her. And in fairness to her, that is how the media portrays Meghan and her fans or people who dislike her. That is what's happening in the media. I'm sure there are lots of people that just don't care about Meghan.
And I think there are reasons at both ends of that.
But you look at, but wait, Angela, talking about Harry being outside, you have no idea like what Harry's doing outside.
Now, that is my point as well. Yeah, you've got no idea what Harry was doing outside, right? But this is really funny, the way this guy's like, he's beyond himself. He's only just realised that she's been allowed to chat this nonsense, and so he's gone back to the first statement that she made.
That may be how the relationship is. Could be completely innocent. Just because she's having a birthday party doesn't mean Harry has to be in there holding her hand like some child, does it?
Okay, so Harry doesn't need to be inside holding her hand like some child. Again, we've introduced another new argument that Harry's an adult and he's not a child and she's not his mum, and it would be childish of Harry to be inside and needing to be with Meghan.
It wasn't a birthday party, it was her birthday, and she had her friend Melissa there. He looked very lost. I mean, I spent 15 months.
That's your interpretation. No, that's your interpretation. He looks lost.
That's her interpretation. He looked very lost. Yes, she is making a declarative statement of fact. He looked very lost. She could say less explosive words along the lines of, when I saw him, I recognised his face. And I've seen that look before, and I've seen him look like that when he's been lost. It's given me a nervous twitch, this, talking about what's happening here. So she's making a statement like as if what she's seen and what she believes to be true is a statement of fact. He looked very lost.
Yeah, but
That's your interpretation, which means nothing.
There you go. Your interpretation means nothing. That is quite rude and dismissive thing to say. That's her interpretation. And he's pointing it out to her, but the way he's pointing it out to her is, again, exactly how she's doing it. He's delivering it to her without any room at all there for debate or discussion.
No, hang on. Let's go back to something else you said there. You said that Meghan likes to do everything straight away. She can't wait for things.
And then he's saying no, when she's trying to speak. She's trying to answer back and he's just shutting her down. And her interpretation does mean something because, as she says, she has spent a lot of time with Harry, 18 months writing his book.
Soft launch of her website, American Riviera Orchard, she sent out 50 jars to her friends and influencers, something that lots of celebrities do when they're launching things. So she is taking this one slow, and eventually she'll launch the website, and it's probably going to be a success.
Meghan likes to do everything straight away. She can't wait for things. And now he's coming up with reasons why this is also not true. And it can't be difficult to find something that Meghan has waited for, because it can't be true that she wants everything done straight away. And this was the weakness of her argument when she declared that Meghan is one way about everything.
So what do you say to that when you're saying she has to have everything immediately?
Well, you've got to listen to what I said before. I spent 15 months with Prince Harry writing his biography. So I think I know him very well. I think I can tell what mood he's in. So I don't think you can say to me, oh, it was just I was wrong about that.
She's right. He can't say it was her opinion and her opinion meant nothing. That was very rude and dismissive.
Because I think I was right. When I see him, Meghan pulling him along, and he's always behind her.
And there we go again. And Meghan's pulling him along and he's always behind her. Again, we're back with the always. That can't be true, can it? It's not always the case. And she's opened up the argument there for them to be able to say, look, it didn't happen in this case.
I feel exactly the same.
When do you see that? When do you see that? Okay, here's some video footage here. Is Meghan pulling him along there? He's grabbing her wrist, pulling her along.
How
you interpret things is how you interpret things.
They're being ridiculous. How many
you
pictures
interpret
have you
things in a
got
very strange way.
You're being ridiculous, she says to him. You're being ridiculous. You've interpreted these things in a very strange way. He says you can't help this one. These two could not be further apart if you tried to find two people on the planet to argue about the royal family. Look, he's holding her hand, but he's claiming that he's grabbing her wrist and pulling her along. I would say he's holding her hand and supporting her so that she can walk on these really difficult steps and cobbled stones that she has to navigate in her stilettos.
Meghan and Harry walking. Well, that's my way.
Oh, well, there's another video of Harry walking in front of her, pulling her along.
And he's gently taken her hand, put her hand in, he's let go, and she's waved. I think he would have liked to hold her hand and helped her into the car, whatever is going on there, but she's just held her hand up and waved.
Okay, here's some video footage here. Is Meghan pulling him along there? He's grabbing her wrist, pulling her along.
He just said that Harry was holding on to Meghan's wrist. Clearly, that's not what he was doing. Pretty much these two are both, what on earth are they? What is this? What's happening now in UK media? This is what we've come down to.
It sounds like you've got a vendetta against Meghan Markle.
Sounds like you've got a vendetta against Meghan Markle.
It's Meghan Markle. As it sounds like. You sound like Angela. Angela, with respect, you sound like a troll.
With respect, you sound like a troll.
You don't call someone a troll with respect. That's without respect.
It's not Meghan doing it, is it?
Well, you've picked those two. You might have picked those two, but I've found them when she's pulling him. So you can't tell me out of two pictures that I've got something wrong.
It sounds like you've got a vendetta against Meghan Markle. It sounds like. You sound like Angela. Angela, with respect, you sound like a troll. You sound like a social media troll. Everything you can point out that's incorrect.
Very rude. You don't call someone a troll with respect. That's without respect.
No, it is with respect.
Let me talk about something else.
Troll with respect. That's without respect. Okay, they're doubling down now. I think this is perfect. Look on these two faces. Look here, these people. Who are they? I want to know who these people are. They're more interesting than what these two are doing. Oh, here we go. We're moving on to Abigail Spencer. Hold on, I need a cup of coffee for this. Now, this is the best comedy on telly. This is just like funny, isn't it? These two arguing, these people just arguing over nothing.
Abigail Spencer, who is also a friend of Meghan's, she was given the 6th jar of jam.
The 6th jar of jam. Could this guy be any less interested in talking about Meghan Markle's jam? She's not even looking at him. She hasn't even got her eyes open in his direction anymore. The 6th jar of jam. This person, Angela, knows which numbers were on the jars that Meghan sent out to people.
Right, and we would see her lying on the grass, hugging it.
So her crime is hugging a jar of jam and the dog close by. So is the problem here the dog or the jam or the hugging?
The dog close by. It was a very sort of the dog up thing.
It's set up. Okay, set up. Is it not allowed? Is that against some sort of rule?
That's one when she's sitting up. You're sitting down. And I thought, how ridiculous. This is a jar of jam. Why are we all getting hysterical about a jar of jam?
Oh, I could listen to her say that all day. This is a jar of jam. As if it's really just of no consequence. And yet she's on the telly talking about it.
Who's hysterical about it?
Who's hysterical about it? It is along the lines of the Kardashians, isn't it? That's the sort of thing that people do nowadays, isn't it? Why wouldn't you make money? If people are determined to rip apart every action that you do, why wouldn't you make money out of it?
It's PR. She's trying to sell something. This is called advertising.
I know what PR is.
And that's him mansplaining to Angela about PR. I know what PR is, she says.
I know what PR is.
Well, with respect, clearly you don't.
With respect, clearly you don't. With respect. That's not respectful at all. He's telling her she doesn't know what PR is.
You're saying it's so set up. It's a PR stunt.
You're here to fight me, so why don't you say goodbye?
I'm not here to fight you. I'm just laying out the truth to you.
You're very rude.
No, Angela, you don't want to be challenged.
No, he's being rude. He's telling her, I'm just laying out the truth to you. He's being rude, laying out the truth. And this is the thing. He's making the same mistake that she's making. He thinks how he sees it is the truth. And that's what she's claiming. And he can't see that he's doing the same thing.
You won't be challenged and you won't be scrutinised. I'd like to know, when she's gone.
You don't want to be challenged. You don't want to be scrutinised. What he's doing isn't challenging. He's literally directly attacking, and that's not the same as challenging, and he obviously doesn't know that.
You see, this is what happens. When you challenge people, when you go to them and you say to them, here's some facts, here's some truths, some people don't like it. You see?
It's not true. What he's just said. When you go to people and say, here's the truth, here's some facts, it's not what he did. He attacked her, told her she didn't know what PA was. He was rude to her. PR. Tired. Sorry, YouTube.
And if people can't answer the truths, what do? They hang up. Or they just start shouting, or they just start denying. Angela
Just start shouting, which is exactly what he's doing. He's just being loud and forceful and aggressive over her, so she didn't get a chance to have a conversation about any of those things.
Angela Levin believes that Harry's being pulled along by Meghan everywhere he goes. And yet we just showed her 3 different videos.
See, it's like a lawyer trying to do that gotcha moment. She said, Harry pulls Meghan along everywhere. And yet we just showed you three perhaps he was a barrister in another life, this one. 3 times when that wasn't true. So therefore none of it is true.
Of Harry and Meghan walking out of buildings. And who's in the front? Harry. Who's leading? Who's pulling? Harry's pulling Meghan. That doesn't play into the narrative of Angela Levin.
Well, it does play into the narrative that Harry's being a supportive husband. And would that have not fitted the narrative of Angela Levin? We don't really know. We're never going to find out now, are we?
It just doesn't. Now, you can say what you want about Meghan Markle. I don't know her, but has she been successful?
Okay. Has never met Meghan. Has he ever met Harry? Angela Levin's been in the company of both of them, yet he's chosen to argue with her about her opinion rather than getting any information out of her.
Yes. Has Harry been successful with her? Yes. Will this jam, which is going to cost $200, is that going to be successful? Probably. I ain't going to buy it, but it probably is going to be successful. Well, thank you, Angela Levin, for joining me.